Our final topic is outreach. We have the owners of a company called Recover Out Loud. We also have Mike Howe, who is with the owner of Sober Hats.
Yeah.
And Steve Williams, who is with Seagrove Recovery. Dan Crystal, tell us a little bit about your company, how it started, and why the Recover Out Loud is so important.
Well, hi.
Hey.
Hang on. I started my company and simply because I spent a lot of time in early recovery, feeling sorry for myself, like I wasn't enough, just a real failure, and it took me to admit that I can be proud of it. I have overcome something so powerful and hard to do for a lot of people, and overcame it, and the more I felt comfortable with it, the better I felt. And I need everybody to feel that same feeling, because it's phenomenal.
Thank you, Dan. Give it up. I've got my friend Mike here. Mike is the owner of SoberHats.com. Mike, tell me the importance of Recover Out Loud and what you do.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks. I appreciate it. So this past summer, and some of you have heard this story, but this past summer, in talking with my children, I was explaining to them that I've been to rehab 3 different times, and I've been with the same company for 29 years. And every time I would go away for 30 days, I'd come back and I wouldn't tell anybody anything. And like my kids' faces were like, you know, what are you talking about? Like, you know, this is a disease. And from that, we started talking about how can we let people recover out loud more openly, and what can we do? And from that, I don't want to take off my hat because I got messy hair, but the sober period hats, the clean period hats were born, and I went online, and I was fortunate enough it may have been the same day, to meet Krista and Johnny. The last group that was up here, Krista, Johnny, and Joel, they were the 3 that I met that were really, in my mind, the 3 that were running everything. And from that day on, they have helped me, and what we have done is we have gotten a lot of hats out in the community and given the people the ability to put on a hat. And honestly, when I have so many pictures of you, a lot of you, with hats on, and when they put on a hat and it says sober period, or clean period, or sober ally period, it really gives people a sense of pride. More importantly for me, and I'll just speak for myself, it also completely eliminated a lot of shame that I felt, because I held it in. I grew up in the 12 steps, and I got kind of confused by the word anonymous, like I couldn't talk about it. And from that, this was born. And, I can't talk about outreach without talking about a couple other small things that I do. And some of you, and not everybody's 12-step, I get that, but whatever part of the program you're coming from, but when a newcomer walks in, there's no better outreach than to be able to walk up to that person and talk to them and share your experience, strength, and hope. And I'm so fortunate. The rehab that I went to was Ashley Addiction Treatment. It's in Happy Grace, Maryland. It's a phenomenal place. And I've been fortunate enough to be the Northern Delaware chapter alumni, to run the Northern Delaware chapter alumni, which has given me the ability to meet people as they come out of treatment. And all of those things, from working with people coming out of treatment, people in the rooms of 12 steps, and more importantly, and this is crazy to think about, 7 months ago, my community was the meetings that I went to. And my community now are all of you, and all the people that I've met through TikTok, which is absolutely phenomenal. So my community pretty much doubled, and I'm super, super grateful for all of those things, for TikTok, for Ashley Addiction Treatment, allowing me to help with the chapter alumni in my area, and for newcomers that walk into a meeting for the first time. And to me, that's what outreach, when I heard outreach, that's what I thought about. I thought about, hey, this is what's important. It's grabbing the newcomer and saying that, guess what? You don't have to live that way, because there are some people that have absolutely no idea that there is a solution.
Thank you, Mike. Our final speaker is become a new friend, Judy. I love you, and you know you are actively helping people all day, every day. You know, so talk to me a little bit about what Seagrove is, your mission, and what you do for outreach in the community.
My name is Judy. I am a person in long-term recovery and extraordinarily grateful and truly gifted to be able to be here sober and alive. I would tell you that outreach is this, hand wide open. Outreach is truly being able, I've been sober 34 out of 36 years. I can tell you, I never sought recovery, so when people come in asking for help, I didn't ask for help. Okay, my mom asked me one day as she flew up to check in on me if I might need some help, and I was asked by this woman who never, ever said ask for help. And I was like, oh, okay. So next thing you know, I'm on a plane. I land here in Johns Island, out of New York, into a treatment center. It looked like a freaking plantation, Tara and the whole thing. I had no idea I would not be drinking anymore and doing drugs. Okay, I really thought it sounded good, and I packed appropriately. I only needed a couple of items to come here to go into treatment, and I won't tell you what they are because they were personal items, and this is a public forum. But it's a funny story, and we can chat later. So anyways, I get there, and they have the detox room and all of this stuff. I would have drank a whole lot more than 2 beers and a Bloody Mary, or 2 Bloody Marys and a beer if I thought I was going to treatment. I thought, for the first time in my life, that I might just be able to talk about my problems over cocktails with this shrink. That I was down for. When I was in that plantation, they had a pool that I wasn't allowed to get into because I had a nice head injury. Okay, it was bad. I think my IQ was down to 95 from all that good stuff that I was doing. But anyways, long story short, what I was given was an opportunity to get off the world for 30 days. And truly, I found out the world didn't need me. And when I could cry right this second, because I got to be in a place that allowed me to find my way. They let me go into detox. They confiscated all my new makeup because they thought I'd kill myself with a mirror and hang myself with my personal items. And I could not do any of those things. And I've never laughed so hard and been lied to by nurses about some crime victims group bus coming to pick me up because I didn't belong in treatment, because I needed a crime victims group. And they would come out to this little bus stop that was 2 benches under a tree and say, your bus blew a tire, isn't going to come today, so why don't you just follow these people to this little class? Okay, these were groups, these were therapy sessions, they were bringing in AA meetings, and anybody who had anything to do with blue, I avoided them. I didn't know what AA was, NA was, anything about recovery. All I knew was I didn't want any part of it. I said, what's that building over there? They said, that's psychotics. I said, what's that? They said, that's people that are out of touch with reality. I said, I hate reality. I went in that building. So that's where I started my journey. And I have to tell you, in following these little people, these nurses, how did they know to lie to me so much? You know how many stories they told me about these buses that was never, ever coming? And I believed them. And I would just go on, and they were probably laughing their asses off. So anyways, the 3rd day, I'm sitting in one of these rooms, and there's 12 steps on the wall, and this guy, Philip Rowland, who's no longer with us, talked about conscious contact with God. And I'm going to tell you something. That is the first moment I can experience to this day where, whoa, my mind opened up. And in that moment, I might not have understood it, but over the course of time, I realized I was trying to get high enough to get there, to God, Nirvana, whatever you want to call it, anything. I wanted to get so high that I did OD, I did die, I did get there. I got to the other side, but the thing was this, in that mind opening was the thing that has never closed in 36 years. I'm not saying that I'm always open-minded to everything. I'm saying that I became teachable. I couldn't get enough. And everything I was given in therapy, group, individual, all of it, the day I got, I'm telling you, God, it was the most beautiful experience of my life. Those 30 days I wasn't needed in the world. And what I like to do today, I will just tell you this, the day I got out of treatment was the day of Hurricane Hugo. Shit happens, kids, and I wasn't even the least bit ruffled. I ended up having to relocate somewhere else. But what happened with that treatment center, what they did, is they gave me an aftercare plan that when I ended up relocating to Florida, I took it to a treatment center. They had, through the course of that 30 days, learned a lot about me. I had done a lot of step work. I had done a lot of therapy. They understood what I needed. And they had a personalized plan for me. Took it to a treatment center in Florida, and they duplicated it. So I ended up with the IOP, I ended up with the individual therapy, I ended up with the 700 meetings to choose from, I ended up with an aftercare plan weekly that was meeting, that was helping me reintegrate into the work life, into relationships, and understanding there's a difference between sex relationships and relationships. I didn't know that, but I learned a lot, and I have to tell you, there was nothing like it. So fast forward 36 years later, by the way, I was one ship wonder until 20 and a half years, so be careful with that. Okay, I got away from my program, I was all, anyway, we won't even go there, we don't have time. So where am I now? Okay, so I've been in mortgage lending, all these other things in my life. I love recovery. I love people in recovery. I have taken meetings to jails, I have been in anything that you can think of, I'm in. And when these guys were coming, I couldn't wait to be a part of this groundbreaking thing. But what's happened is I ended up getting into the treatment world, and a year ago, Seagrove opened up their new facility. And what I get to do now is tell people about it, and I get to be in that position when someone calls. I get to be there, or my team is there. And in that moment, we get to listen and understand. And there's no one place that's going to help every single person in the world. It's not going to happen, okay? We need multiple places. And there's no one person that meets criteria for all the places and all the things. There's therapies, there's 12-step, there's smart recovery, I'm now co-leader in Celebrate Recovery. There's all kinds of things we get to do, and all kinds of journeys that every single individual gets to have. But what I get to offer is a listening ear and an open heart. And you don't get this old without having lots of experience. And what God has done in me is that I get to listen to where somebody's at. And I get to really, I've got partners here. We've got Coastal Oaks, we've got Southern Sky, we've got phenomenal resources now, where Charleston's always been known as a huge party town. It is a huge recovery town. It is strong. Hilton Head. Wow. Upstate. We will scoop anyone up at any time, and we will help them in any way that we can. There are people that don't have money, there are people that need resources, people need insurance, whatever the different things are. There's a place for you. There's a place for you. There's an open hand, an open heart, an open mind. Even if something's closed, there's a bed somewhere for you. You can take your head out of wherever it's at and lay down for a minute and be able to get help. It's here. It's absolutely here. And that's the thing, is what I get to do is be a part of a whole web, a whole fantastic community that is large, worldwide. We can do sober vacations. We can meet somebody in Alaska. She's listening right now. Hi, Christy from Kentucky. Okay, I got to meet her. 13 days sober and just trying to buy the drink package. She didn't know about red dots and green dots. But anyways, long story. Friends all over the world sober, traveling this journey and living it out loud. There's no secret. There's nothing to be ashamed of. My mother had diabetes, okay? I didn't know it was an illness because she took care of her recovery. People don't know I'm alcoholic until they talk to me for a little while. But what will happen is because I take care of my recovery, other people don't have to. And how do I do that? Here.
Yeah.
Yeah.